They tell you to grow thick skin. They never tell you why people throw stones in the first place. Insults are not accidents. They are signals. Most people believe insults are about anger, jealousy, or bad manners. That belief keeps them weak. Because insults are not emotional outbursts, they are calculated moves in a quiet war for control. Once you see that truth, you can never unsee it. An insult is never just a sentence. It is a test. When someone insults you, they are watching closely, not for your words, but for your reaction. Your face, your breath, your tone. They are asking one question without saying it out loud: do I control you? This is where most people fail. They rush to defend themselves. They explain. They raise their voice. They try to prove they are not what was said, and in doing so, they lose. Because the moment you react emotionally, the insult has already worked. The attacker does not need to win the argument. They already won the moment. Insults exist because people crave power without earning it. They do not want respect. They want reaction. Reaction is easier. Reaction is instant. Reaction makes them feel important for a few seconds. Think about it. A strong person does not need to insult. A confident mind does not need to poke others. Only insecure people try to rise by pulling someone else down. This is not kindness versus cruelty. This is dominance versus submission. Throughout history, insults were never random. In royal courts, men insulted carefully, not loudly. A single word could expose weakness, start wars, or end careers. The one who reacted too fast was marked as unstable. And instability was never trusted with power. Machiavelli understood this deeply. He saw human behavior clearly, without romance. He knew that people test boundaries the way predators test prey, gently at first. A small insult, a joke disguised as humor. A comment said with a smile. They are watching to see if you flinch. If you flinch, they push further. If you stay still, they retreat. Most people are insulted by those who sense something unguarded inside them, a need to be liked, a fear of being misunderstood, a hunger for approval. That hunger is visible, even when you think you hide it. An insult is bait thrown into emotional water. If you bite, the hook sets. And once hooked, you are pulled wherever the other person wants you to go. This is why insults hurt more when spoken by certain people. Not because they are smarter, but because they aim where you are soft. Silence scares people like this, not polite silence. Not awkward silence, but calm, grounded silence. Because silence refuses the game. When you do not react, the insult loses direction. It floats in the air, unsupported. The attacker suddenly feels exposed. Their words echo back to them. This is the moment power shifts. Most people misunderstand silence. They think it means weakness, fear, or lack of words. But silence, when chosen, is restraint, and restraint is strength under control. The world teaches you to respond quickly. Social media rewards outrage. Arguments reward loudness. Egos reward defense. But power moves slowly. Power observes. Power waits. A man who reacts to every insult is not strong. He is predictable. And predictability is easy to manipulate. Once someone knows what upsets you, they own a lever inside your mind. They can pull it whenever they want. They can turn your calm into chaos with one sentence. This is why insults repeat, because they worked the first time. But when you refuse to react, something changes. The insult has nowhere to land. The attacker feels ignored, unseen, unimportant. And for someone who insults, that is the deepest wound of all. Machiavelli warned in his own way that a man who cannot rule himself will always be ruled by others. Self-control is not passive. It is active discipline. You do not stay silent because you are weak. You stay silent because you are choosing your ground. The goal is not to win the moment. The goal is to remain untouched by it. Insults are not meant to destroy you. They are meant to pull you down into reaction, where everyone else lives, where emotions run the show, where clarity disappears. When you see this clearly, insults lose their mystery. They become obvious, almost sad. You realize the person insulting you is not above you. They are reaching. And when you stop reaching back, you rise without effort. The first lesson of power is not how to speak. It is when not to. Insults test your discipline, not your worth. Every calm response rewires how people see you, and every silent moment strengthens the part of you that cannot be controlled. This is where true authority begins. Inside. Insults are not weapons. They are bait thrown to provoke reaction and steal control. When you react emotionally, you give power away. Silence, chosen with awareness, breaks the trap. And the first step toward becoming untouchable is understanding that power begins where reaction ends. There is a moment after an insult that most people never talk about. A quiet second. A sharp pause in the chest. That is where the real battle begins. Not with the other person, but with yourself. In that moment, your mind starts racing. You replay the words. You feel the heat rise. Your body prepares to strike back, not with fists, but with emotion. This is the dangerous part, because it feels justified. You tell yourself you are standing up for respect. You believe you are protecting your name. You think silence will make you look weak, but that belief is the trap. The need to respond is not strength. It is fear wearing armor. Fear of being seen as small. Fear of being misunderstood. Fear of losing status in front of others. And fear always rushes. When you respond too fast, you are no longer choosing. You are reacting. And reaction is never power. Think about how arguments grow. One insult becomes 10. One comment becomes a memory you carry for years. Not because the words were deep, but because you let them inside. The more you explain yourself, the more you reveal where it hurts. The more you defend, the more you confirm the attack mattered. And the more you explode, the more control you hand over. This is why skilled manipulators insult calmly. They know emotion does the rest of the work for them. They say something small, then they wait. And if you react, they learn everything they need to know about you. They learn your triggers. They learn your weak points. They learn how to pull you out of your center. Once someone knows how to disturb your peace, they can do it again, and again, and again. This is how power quietly shifts hands. Look at people who are constantly disrespected. It is rarely because they are powerless. It is because they are predictable. They argue. They justify. They try to win every moment. But real power does not live in moments. It lives in patterns. When someone sees that insults control your mood, they no longer see you as solid. They see you as movable. And movable people are easy to push. History is full of men who destroyed themselves this way. Leaders who spoke too soon. Generals who reacted to provocation. Kings who answered mockery with rage. Their enemies did not defeat them with force. They defeated them by pulling them out of control. Machiavelli understood this descent clearly. He saw how emotions undo even the strongest minds. He knew that the man who must answer every insult is already being led. Because when you respond from emotion, you are no longer acting from strategy. You are acting from pain. Pain wants relief now. Power wants results later. This is why reacting feels good for a moment. It releases tension. It feels like justice. But afterward, there is always regret. You replay what you said. You wish you stayed calm. You feel smaller than before. That is the cost of reaction. Silence, on the other hand, is uncomfortable at first. It makes the ego scream. It feels like you are swallowing fire. But silence protects your position. When you do not respond, you force the other person to sit with their own words. Their insult hangs there, unanswered. Awkward. Exposed. And slowly, the power they tried to take returns to you. This is why emotionally disciplined people scare others. You cannot read them. You cannot push them. You cannot control them. They are not cold. They are grounded. They choose when to speak. And because of that, their words carry weight. The dangerous need to respond comes from a false belief that your value depends on how others see you. But the moment you stop needing to correct every insult, you step outside that cage. You realize something important. Not every comment deserves your energy. Not every person deserves access to your emotions. And not every battle is meant to be fought. The strongest men in the room are often the quietest. Not because they have nothing to say, but because they know when speaking would lower them. When you react less, people test you less, because they gain nothing from pushing you. This is the turning point. The descent is realizing that your biggest enemy is not the person insulting you. It is the part of you that wants to prove something. Once you master that part, no insult can reach you. Reacting feels powerful, but it drains you. Silence feels heavy, but it protects you. Every moment you choose control over impulse, you reclaim authority over yourself. The world may reward noise, but power respects restraint. And the man who rules his reactions cannot be ruled by others. Reacting to insults feels like strength, but it is surrender. The more you explain, defend, or explode, the more control you lose. Emotional reactions make you predictable and easy to manipulate. Silence breaks the power loop and exposes the attacker. Those who lose control can never hold power. Mastery begins where noise ends, not in shouting back, not in proving anything, but in choosing stillness when the world expects fire. By now, you understand the trap. You see how insults are thrown to pull you into reaction. You feel that old urge rise and fade. This is where most people stop. But mastery asks for more. The response that makes you untouchable is not silence alone. It is controlled calm. There is a difference between freezing and choosing. Freezing comes from fear. Choosing comes from strength. When someone insults you and you remain calm, something strange happens. The room changes. The air feels heavier. People notice. Because calm under pressure sends a clear message. I am not shaken. You do not need to stare them down. You do not need sharp words. You do not need to walk away in anger. You simply stay grounded. Sometimes that looks like a soft smile. Sometimes it looks like a quiet nod. Sometimes it is no response at all. What matters is the energy behind it. Detached, unbothered, complete. This response confuses those who insult. They expected emotion. They prepared for defense or attack. Instead, they meet a wall. And walls do not argue. This is why calm is feared. It cannot be read. It cannot be rushed. It cannot be controlled. Most people live loud on the outside and fragile on the inside. When you respond calmly, you reverse that. Quiet on the outside, solid within. This is the mark of a dangerous mind. Think about the people you respect most. The ones whose presence fills a room without effort. They do not react to every comment. They do not chase approval. They listen. They observe. They speak only when it matters. Their power is not in words. It is in restraint. Machiavelli understood this final lesson well. Power, once gained, must be protected. And nothing protects power like emotional discipline. A man who reacts is easy to provoke. A man who stays calm forces others to reveal themselves. When you do not react, the insulter often doubles down. They push harder, they grow louder. This is not strength. This is desperation. They are trying to regain control they never had. And if you stay calm through that moment, something shifts permanently. They learn you are not worth testing, not because you are aggressive, but because you are unreachable. This is mastery. It does not mean you never speak. It means when you do speak, your words land with weight. Because they are rare. Because they are chosen. There are moments when silence is the response. There are moments when a short, calm sentence is enough. Not defensive, not emotional. Just clear, I hear you. Noted. Or even, that's your view. Nothing more. These responses do not feed the attack, they end it. You are not explaining yourself. You are not correcting them. You are not asking to be understood. You are standing where you are. This is where freedom lives. The more you practice this, the lighter you feel. Insults lose their grip. Your mood stays steady. You begin to realize something powerful. Most people are fighting battles inside themselves. Their words are reflections of their own chaos. Once you see that, insults start feeling personal. They feel distant, almost irrelevant. And when nothing can reach you emotionally, you become untouchable. This does not make you cold, it makes you clear. You still feel, you still care, but you choose what deserves access to your inner world. That choice is power. And power, once mastered, changes how the world treats you. People speak more carefully around you. They hesitate before crossing lines, not because you threaten them, but because they sense control. Control is respected, always. This is not about ego, it is about peace. A calm mind cannot be insulted, only invited, and you get to decline. This is the final lesson. You were never meant to fight every word. You were meant to rise above them. The strongest response is often the quietest one. Calm is not weakness, it is command. When you stop reacting, you stop bleeding energy. And when you protect your inner world, nothing outside can shake you. This is mastery. This is how you become untouchable. The response that makes you untouchable is not loud. It is not clever. It is calm, detached, and deliberate. When you master this, you no longer fear insults, because nothing said from below can reach you.